The great Johnny Forbes. The poor man's Frankenstein. Look at the hole through the mug. Pictures don't lie. But this one sure made a sucker out of you. John J. Forbes, the reporter with the photographic memory. What did you do? Run out of film?
Are you sure you never saw him before, Johnny?
Yep. That newsreel shot proves you got a perfect gander with the murderer's kisser.
Who said I didn't? So I saw a guy's face. Can I help it if I don't know who it belongs to?
But they tell me down the office you're a walking rogues gallery.
It was his camera that caught my eye. Boy, it was a honey.
You didn't notice anything peculiar about that camera?
Only that sweet-looking telephoto lens. And how was I to know it had a silence 38 in it?
Brandon, you ought to be proud of your star reporter. A guy is an eyewitness to a $1 million murder, and he can't even identify the killer.
Why should I know anyone so revolting?
Are you sure it isn't one of these guys?
Positive.
I bet my badge this killing ties in with the nationwide cleanup on Bourbon Boy.
Remarkable deduction, Sergeant.
Every bookie in the country took a licking on that one.
Yeah, there was a ton of dough dumped in their laps. Too late to lay it off the tracks, and dexterous thinks the murder might tie in.
Cut the comedy, Johnny. Jim Hadley in his palmiest days never pulled a bigger one than this.
I'll bet he's glad he's dead. You would have tied this one right around his neck, wouldn't you, Sarge?
I'd sure be in there trying.
Say, I wonder whatever happened to our pal here. He was Hadley's stooge, wasn't he?
Chet Matthews? I haven't seen him since Hadley's funeral. Why?
Just wondering.
Have you seen Matthews lately?
No.
No, I'm just wasting my time. Come on, Bill.
Sorry I can't be of more help, Sarge.
I can't understand it, Johnny. Tough break you couldn't identify him.
Oh, but I did.
Sure would have made a sweet... Huh? You recognize the murderer?
Sure. The guy that used to trigger for Hadley. And his name is Chet Matthews.
What? Get in the press room.
What are you going to do?
Replay for an extra, of course.
Oh, no, you're not, Skipper.
Are you crazy?
No. We could turn Matthews over any time. But he isn't good for a headline. We ought to go after the big shot. The guy that Matthews is working for. Now, there's a story worth a front-page spread.
But I don't like to withhold evidence from the police.
They'll get their evidence, Skipper, in spades. I say use Matthews as bait. To get this big guy, the guy who set this thing up. The guy who stepped into Hadley's shoes.
But you don't even know where Matthews is.
I got an awfully strong hunch I can find him. I looked at the clips on the old Hadley mob. And that one there interests me particularly.
Oh, yeah, I remember the case. Weren't Laverne and Hadley partners in the gambling syndicate?
That's right. Hadley accused Laverne of double-crossing him and had him knocked off. Then the mob got sore and knocked Hadley off. Nice people.
Yeah, but that's ancient history. What's it got to do with Matthews?
Just this. Laverne's sister might want to do a little talking about now.
Oh. Okay, we'll play it your way for a few days. You know where you can find her?
I think she still lives in Brooklyn.
All right, hop to it.
So long, Skipper. I'll stop by the cashier and pick up $30.
How much?
40.
Get 20.
Why don't I mind my own business?
I gotta go now, Emily. Somebody's hunting for me.
Don't try to change the subject.
No, I'm not trying to change the subject.
Are you gonna be home at 7?
Yeah, I'll be home at 7.
I ain't forgetting.
I promise, I cross my heart.
Bring the spaghetti.
Certainly I remember what day it is. It's our anniversary. How could I ever forget it?
Be quiet. Let me do the talking. Well, why don't you answer me?
Hey, taxi!
I got a customer.
Never mind him.
Yeah,
Now
yeah.
you listen to me.
Look.
I'm sick and tired of listening.
Bye-bye, precious.
Day in and day out. All I get from you.
She's got a memory like an elephant. Do you want a taxi, mister?
No, I just wanted to see if your horn could play Yankee Doodle.
That's a hot one. Where to, chum?
2119 Davenport Avenue. That's in Brooklyn.
Are you telling me? I was born in Brooklyn.
Small world, isn't it?
Yeah, if you ride the subways.
Wait here. I'll be right out.
Quiet, Duke. What do you want, mister?
Well, you don't remember me, do you, Gladys? And after the swell yarn I did on you, too. I'm Johnny Forbes. Covered Hadley's funeral for the Express, remember?
Oh, now I recognize you. All right, come in.
Wasn't that Hadley's dog?
Yeah. Surprised I'd keep him under the circumstances?
Can't blame the dog for what he did.
That's the way I figured it. Well, you didn't come to pass the time of day. What's on your mind?
Chet Matthews.
That rat.
Yeah. I always figured he could have tipped your brother off if he wanted to.
He was only Hadley's stooge. What do you want with him?
Would it break your heart if he got the chair?
Break my heart if I didn't get a ringside seat.
Maybe you can arrange it. If I could find him.
Where'd you hear of him last?
Manhattan Park, yesterday.
Mob used to have a regular routine. If they're still in business, Albany's their next stop.
Albany. Thanks, kid. Could you use a double saw?
I guess the landlady could.
You're not working?
Not lately.
Try to spot you someplace. I get around, you know.
I could use a job.
Keep you in mind.
Thanks.
If you were going to Albany, where would you look for Matthews?
You might try a place called Poulter's. Say Lefty Cortez sent you, and you want to buy a bridle.
A bridle. Just what I need. You seeing him?
Good luck.
Where now, Bounty?
Albany?
Yes, sir. What street? Albany? Albany, New York?
Yeah, come on, I'm in a hurry.
Afraid I can't, mister. This is my wedding anniversary, and Emily's kind of funny about those things.
But you'll be back by evening.
Well, I could use the dough.
Well, never mind, I'll get another cab.
Wait a minute. If I'm home by 7, it's okay. You see, I promised Emily I'd make the spaghetti.
Albany.
Yeah, sure. Hop in. You see, I met my wife in a spaghetti joint, and our boarder insists we have it every anniversary. And from what...
Albany.
Yes, that's right.
This is it, all right.
You come all the way to Albany looking for a hardware store?
That's right.
Oh, I better watch that guy. Thank you. Yes?
I want 2 pounds of 10-penny nails, pound of white lead, yardstick, and a hammer.
Yes, sir.
Oh, by the way, you know where I can get a bridle?
Who sent you?
Lefty Cortez.
Okay.
Two and 2 on 152. Check.
This guy wants to see you. He's okay. Lefty Cortez sent him.
What do you want?
I'm supposed to meet Chet Matthews.
Yeah, well, Chen ain't here.
Well, how do you like that? I was told to meet him here. He didn't.
You'll have to step on it if you want to catch up with him, brother. Travelers Hotel in Buffalo's his next stop.
Much obliged.
Did you get what you want?
Hey, have you got a gasoline credit card?
Sure.
Okay, fill her up. We're on our way to Buffalo.
Yes. Buffalo. Oh, have a heart, mister. Emily will murder me.
Say, what are you, man or mouse?
Mouse, you don't know Emily.
Okay, run along to Emily. I'll settle up with you when I get back to New York.
Emily checks my meter, and I got to lay the dough right on the line.
Of course, if you want to trust me to mail you a check.
Oh, no, it's perfectly all right. Hop right in. It's all right.
Well, he isn't here, so the next stop is Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Now, look, mister, I got to get home or Emily will...
Relax, will you? I'll get your dough for you at the next stop. I'll call the boss.
All right, Pittsburgh. But no further. Emily ain't gonna believe this. I don't believe it myself.
Emily, as I'm standing here, it wasn't my fault. He wanted to give me a check.
Don't, Emily. $158. Oh. And from there, We went to Louisville, and it's awful hot. I'm here now. It's awful hot here, but must be much hotter there where you are. Yes. I miss you very much.
Brooklyn, next stop.
Oh, boy. I'll beat this letter home.
Brooklyn, Mississippi.
Oh. Fella, I'll get murdered.
Hey. There's a big creek up ahead. Creek? That's the Mississippi. Cross the bridge, turn left. 100 miles.
100 miles more.
You know, Milt, I can't understand how we missed him. We've been just a day behind him all the way from New York. He must be around here somewhere.
Yeah, but where?
We'll find him all right. Couldn't disappear into thin air. Hey, chum. I don't bother you, but we'd like to have a double room with bath.
It ain't too much bother, stranger. Sign here.
And I'd hate to bother you, but will you call your boss for that dough?
Good evening, Mr. Carville. Be with you in just a moment.
You happen to have a Chet Matthews registered here?
Chet Matthews? I'm afraid not.
I want you to put in a long-distance telephone call for Mr. Harry Brandon, New York Daily Express. Johnny Forbes calling.
Would you mind waiting just a moment, Mr. Forbes?
Not at all.
Any mail for me, Everett? I'll see, sir. Nothing, Mr. Carville.
Thank you, Everett.
Now, what was that phone call you wanted, Mr. Forbes?
Huh? Oh, who is that?
That's Mr. Francis Carville.
That's funny. I bet I thought I knew him. Does he live here right alone?
Well, he keeps a room here and stays here now and then. His plantation's quite a ways out of town.
Plantation. What's his business?
He's retired. Does a little gambling now and then, just for the sport of it.
Gambling. Where does a guy go when he feels a little lucky around here?
Well, there's the Colonial House at the foot of Magnolia Avenue.
Colonial House, eh? Much obliged. Say, Milton, did you ever see a face that bothered you?
You mean besides yours?
All right, chariot here, let's go.
Now, wait a minute. What again? I'm sleepy.
Well, go to bed then.
What about that telephone call and the dough?
I'll take care of it in the morning.
If my wife divorces me, I'll name you as correspondent. Here's sharpen these collars, spray the cuffs, and knock the buttons off. Say your oysters in season.
You're wanted in a private room.
Hi, boss. Got a great report for you. Everything on the outside is just... What's the matter?
Why didn't you give your name and address to the police?
Now, wait a minute. The cops don't know a thing.
I build a business, a big business. I can't operate in New York myself, so I send you. And what happens? You get yourself followed by a newspaper man.
A newspaper man?
Yes, the Mr. Johnny Forbes of the New York Daily Express.
Forbes. He didn't recognize you, did he?
Now, what do you think?
No. Of course he couldn't.
It seems he's looking for you, Chet.
Why should he be looking for me?
Maybe he's curious about a certain racetrack incident.
But all the papers said he couldn't identify me.
I don't suppose that ever struck you as rather strange. You run squarely into a reporter, famous for his ability to remember faces.
Yeah, and I had to slug him with that camera in order to get away.
And very conveniently, he doesn't remember you. Although he's seen you dozens of times in the past.
I don't get it. Why should he dumb me up if he did recognize me?
If I were you, Chet, I'd do a lot of thinking about that.
I am thinking. Where is he now?
Just checked into the hotel.
Okay. Forbes is just going inside. I gotta find a hideaway. How about the plantation, your place?
You're to stay away from there. I've told you that before.
Well, what am I gonna do, boss?
I'm afraid that's your little problem, Chet.
We gotta take care of that guy.
We.
Yes, we. I'm not taking any rap alone.
I think I understand. All right. Maybe I had better give you the benefit of my advice. Let me know. I'm staying at the hotel tonight.
Thanks.
Tell Kirby I want to see him.
Okay.
There goes my romance and all my dreams of you, who whispered sweet nothings that never will come true. There goes my romance, you're taking it away and leaving me nothing but sighs and skies of gray. I thought that love would be a cause for applause and cheer, but now I know it's only another occasion for tears. So farewell to my romance. That's not the saddest part. Along with my romance, there goes my foolish heart. I thought that love would be a cause for applause and cheer, but now I know it's only another occasion for tears. So farewell to my romance. That's not the saddest part. Along with my romance, there goes my foolish
I beg your pardon. I don't think we'd better talk here. Oh, don't be offended, please. You see, I've been looking for you for such a long time.
Looking for me?
And I knew you the minute I saw you.
I'm quite sure I've never seen you before.
Well, as a matter of fact, I hadn't seen you until just a moment ago. When I did, well, there you were, just the way I knew you'd be.
What are you babbling about?
I'm terribly sorry. I'm John J. Ford. But you'll want to call me Johnny, of course.
Is this supposed to be a joke?
No, it isn't supposed to be. You're not married, are you? Oh, no, of course not. You couldn't be.
And why couldn't I be?
Well, then you just have to get a divorce, and I'd feel awfully sorry for the fellow who lost you. Besides, I don't believe in long engagements, do you?
You are crazy, aren't you?
Absolutely. I've been that way for nearly 5 minutes now. Shock, I suppose. I certainly didn't expect to find you here. For a moment, I wasn't really looking for you.
No?
No, I was looking for Chet Matthews.
Oh, Chet Matthews.
Do you know him?
Good evening, Miss Beth.
Oh, hello, Colonel. You're just in time.
Anything wrong?
This is John J. Ford of the Crazy Ford. He's looking for somebody.
Crazy?
Oh, he's perfectly harmless.
Can I be of any assistance to you, sir?
Oh, you certainly can, Colonel. What's that young lady's name?
Why, Beth Cornell.
Beth Cornell. Beth Cornell. I like it. You'll have to excuse me now, sir. Beth Cornell. That's a beautiful name, too. It's a shame you have to change it. But that's life. I know just how you feel. The Hudson hits me the same way. You'll get so you'll love it. I want to be there the first time you see it. I can see us now, coming up from the subway, hand in hand. There it'll be. Your wedding present. To Beth, from Johnny. Manhattan in the spring.
I guess Mr. Matthews could tell me if you always act like this.
Mr. Matthews?
Yes, Chet Matthews. Didn't you say you were looking for him?
Oh, that's right. Then you know him.
Just casually. He's one of the club's best customers when he's in town.
Have you seen him lately?
Yes, I passed him when I was going in to do my first number. Oh, that's my cue. I'm a working girl, you know. I have to sing for my supper.
I'm going to change that, too.
You really mean that, don't you? What is it?
Saw somebody I know.
Who?
Chet Matthews.
Why don't you call to him?
I want to surprise him. Excuse me, I'll be right back. Driver, keep him inside. I don't want to lose him. Not too close, driver. I don't want them to know we're following them. You turn up onto the wharf. Stop and let me out.
Get out. Down the plank. Watch your step.
Hello, Forbes. Looking for me?
Snap into it. We missed him.
I wouldn't lie to you, Wayne. But the guy said he wanted to go to Brooklyn. And then he said he wanted to go to Albany.
And then to Mississippi?
Yeah, Wayne, but how did you know?
Hiya, Bill. You miss me?
I heard of people losing their shirts, but...
Just took a moonlight swim.
With your clothes on?
Didn't want to get wet.
Oh, good evening, Mr. Carvel. Evening, Everett. Mr. Forbes was asking for you. Forbes? Yes, sir. He's a peculiar sort of a fella, ain't he? Came in here soaking wet. Got tracks all over my carpet. He asked if you were in, and I said no, and he said, never mind. Went on upstairs.
I reckon it can't be very important, then. I'll see him in the morning before I check out.
Good night, Everett. Good night, Mr. Carvel.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carver.
All right.
Hello, this is Joe in Detroit. This is Tom talking, Mississippi. Lay off $5 grand, 115 at Greenwood. That's right, $5 grand.
Well, that setup in Detroit's doing swell business.
Oh, that's fine, fine. I want to talk with you.
Oh, Mr. Carvel, that trouble in Chicago just broke. They couldn't do a thing.
Close them down. I'll talk with them tonight.
Yes, sir.
So the Detroit office is doing okay, hmm? I told you that Jackson was a smart kid. You better deliver that in person.
Matthews?
Surprised?
Yeah.
Yes?
Johnny Forks is on the wire, Mr. Brandon.
Put him on.
Is it all right to reverse the charges? Calling from Brooklyn, Mississippi.
Brooklyn, of course. Mississippi.
Hiya, Skipper.
Well, it's nice to hear from you. Nobody knew what happened. The police even dragged the river for your body.
Did they find me?
How did you get to Mississippi?
In a taxi cab.
In a tech? How much did it cost?
I didn't buy it.
Quit stalling. How much?
Oh, very reasonable. Only $193.
Only $193, and you say you didn't buy it. Listen, photographic mind, think you can remember this? You're fired.
Huh?
I said you're fired.
Okay. Just wire what money I've got coming to the St. George Hotel, Brooklyn, Mississippi. Sure, wire to collect if that's the way you feel about it. But under the circumstances, I'm sure you won't mind if I peddle the Matthews story to a local rag.
What's that? You mean you found him? Johnny, you're marvelous.
Yeah, it's too bad it don't work for you anymore.
Oh, now, Johnny, don't be like that. Can't you take a joke?
Sure. Ho.
Operator.
Get the boss all right?
Yeah, sure.
Is he wiring you the dough?
2 weeks' salary. I just resigned.
Resigned? Hey, who's going to pay that cab bill?
Now, don't talk about money at a time like this, Milton. It's vulgar.
$193 ain't vulgar. 200 gallons for their suit.
Okay, so I got fired.
Well, why didn't you say so? The booth phone's ringing. Maybe they're calling you back.
Ah, let him call.
Hi, Beef.
Say, Elmer, I want to get in touch with this guy named Carvel.
Carvel ain't here anymore. He checked out early this morning. And my name ain't Elba. It's Everett. Hello? Somebody's calling you from New York.
Tell him you never heard of me.
I never heard... What?
What about the dough?
I'll get it for you. Say, you got a newspaper in this whistle stop?
Certainly got a newspaper here.
I'm not here. Where is it and what's the name of it?
The Clarion, 3rd and Main.
Thanks, Everett.
You heard him. What a spot for a hot foot. What's the matter? Is he dead?
Mr. Higgins.
That's me.
This is your lucky day. I'm Johnny Forbes, New York Express.
New York Express. Yes. That's a good paper, too.
Well, it used to be, but I quit.
But I don't understand.
Shake hands with your new boy.
Well, how do you do?
Fine, now that I'm working for you.
You? You're working for me?
That's right. Salary's $100 a week.
But I only get 50.
You should give yourself a raise.
I can't afford it.
Okay, money's no object anyway. Ford's the philanthropist, that's me. And I'm about to make you a present of an well, that's the way I thought the first time I saw him, too. I'm about to make you a present of an exclusive news story that'll make your hair curl. Yes, sir, I'm going to drop a murderer right into your lap.
A murderer?
Right, the guy who shot that jockey at Manhattan Park a few days ago.
Huh?
You bet. A byline exclusive by Johnny Forbes and for free. Here, let me get that typewriter. Tell the press room to get ready for an extra.
An extra? But we don't go to press until Wednesday.
Oh, that's fine. What?
The Clarion is a weekly paper.
But today is Wednesday.
Certainly, and the paper is all printed.
Oh, look, Mr. Higgins, this is big stuff. Where's another edition?
I couldn't do that, Mr. Forbes. The printer is drunk. He always gets drunk the minute the paper is out. Oh, don't do that, Mr. Forbes. I'll be glad to print your story next week. Who is the murderer?
A guy by the name of Matthews.
Matthews? Not Chester Matthews.
Chester. You know him?
No. But here, you better read the Clarion, Mr. Forbes.
Yeah. His initials.
That's right.
You sure about this?
The coroner showed me the bullet.
Mr. Higgins, I could kiss you for this. Hello, operator. Get me the New York Express. Reverse the charges. Sure, I'll hang on.
And what are you calling up the Express for?
What does a reporter usually do when he's got a story?
But you said you'd quit.
Quit? Are you daffy?
I guess I must be.
Ask him about the dough.
Hello, Skipper.
Gosh, Johnny, you had me worried.
Now, look, you found Matthews. Where is he?
In the morgue.
In the morgue? Bumped off? Who did it?
I think I know, but I gotta prove it. In the meantime, we have to stick to the facts. Listen, Matthews was shot in the back with a .38 caliber bullet. With his own initials on it.
His own initials, huh? So what?
But don't you remember? That was Hadley's signature.
That's right. Listen, crackpot, even in Mississippi, dead men don't commit murders.
No? Well, suppose I told you Hadley isn't dead.
Are you drunk?
Look up the clips on the so-called Hadley murder. And you'll find they pulled a body out of the river in a tuxedo of cement. Sure, I know the stiff wore Hadley's ring. And I know he had his wallet and his watch. And I also seem to recall there wasn't much left of his face. So ponder that, my friend, until I call you back.
Do you really know who committed the murder?
I got an awfully strong hunch. Do you happen to know Mr. Francis Carvel?
You're not accusing Mr. Carvel of murder?
Not yet. How long have you known him?
Let me see. About 2 years.
Oh, that's just about right. Well, thanks for the use of the hall, Mr. Higgins.
You can go back to sleep, kid.
If I go climb a tree, please don't stare suspiciously. Believe me, I've not gone insane. It's just my heart that's gone to my brain, and suddenly I hear love songs from out of the blue above. Got dreams, got schemes, got love. I've got the symptoms, it's plain as day. I can't think straight or concentrate. My thoughts all go astray. I've got the symptoms. My knees feel weak. And I'm quite sure my temperature has hit an all-time peak. Got it again. It's throbbing and giving my heart a shove. Got thrills, got chills, got love, baby. Getting that yen for Robinson things they remind me of. Got boy, got joy, got love. If I go climb a tree, please don't stare suspiciously. Believe me, I'm not insane. It's just my heart that's gone to my brain. Suddenly I hear love songs from out of the blue above. Got dreams, got schemes, got thrills, got chills. Got the thrills that gave me chills. Got the dreams that gave me schemes. Got the boy that gave me joy. Oh boy, I got love.
Hello.
Hello.
Did you hear about Matthews?
Yes, I was going to tell you. I don't understand it. Why was he killed?
Because he was dangerous with a finger on him. But he isn't dangerous anymore.
No, but you are.
That's right. I know we had him knocked off.
You do?
Good morning, Beth.
Oh, hello.
Well, if it isn't Jim Hadley.
I beg your pardon?
I thought you looked familiar when I saw you last night. Don't you remember me? I'm Johnny Forbes of the Express.
Oh, I'm sorry, but...
Johnny, this is Mr. Carvel. Mr. Francis Carvel.
You're not Hadley?
Terribly sorry to disappoint you, but I'm very happy to make your acquaintance.
That certainly is a horse on me. I could have sworn that... It's the eyes that fool me. You'll have to excuse me, Mr. Carvel.
Certainly, my boy. Who is this gentleman you mistook me for?
Oh, now I am embarrassed. You'll have to square me with Mr. Carvel, Beth. For about 2 minutes, I thought he was a big New York gambler and racketeer.
You flatter me, young man. I'd like to meet this Mr...
Hadley?
Hadley sometime.
Oh, how stupid of me. I forgot you can't meet Mr. Hadley, Mr. Carvel. He's dead.
Oh, well, then I certainly don't want to meet him for some time.
Well, you certainly look well.
I try to keep fit. Have you seen Colonel Kirby around this morning?
I imagine he's in his office, Mr. Carvel.
Thank you. I lost rather heavily here last night. I like to keep my credit good in these places. We must get together for a drink, Mr. Forbes.
I'll be looking forward to it, Mr.
Carvel. Thank you, sir. Pardon me.
That was a strange performance.
Did you like it?
He must think you're crazy.
I don't think so. I want to show you something. See that man on the right? Look familiar to you?
No. Who is it?
The man who had Matthews knocked off. Look closer. The story's in the eyes and the eyebrows.
Doesn't mean a thing to me.
I guess it is kind of hard to spot in a news picture. Well, he's the southern gentleman you just introduced me to. Otherwise, Jim Hadley.
Nonsense. They don't look at all alike.
That was a pretty sweet job of plastic surgery.
You're wrong, Johnny. I know you're wrong.
Maybe. Say, where is this Mr. Carvel's plantation?
About 15 miles south on the River Drive. But you're not going there.
Why not?
Well, if this really is Hadley.
No, you're not going to start worrying about that. You know I'm wrong. This is it, all right.
I'll wait out here for you.
I should say not. You think I'm selfish? I want you to have some fun, too. Come on.
Burglary ain't what I call fun.
All you've got to do is be lookout.
You look out for you, and I'll look out for me.
Shh. Come on. I need you.
Too high, ain't it, Johnny?
Yeah.
If I mess this up, run for it, understand?
I'm miles ahead of you.
Evening, Mr. Forbes. Nice of you to drop in like this. No idea how happy I am to see you. The photograph, may I have it? Please. Thanks. Have a cigar?
No, thanks.
Well?
Looks like you got me stymied. That was the last link, wasn't it? Now that Matthews is gone.
If you're referring to the lady in the photograph, I never saw her in all my life.
I see. And you only burn it because you're a tidy soul.
You realize, of course, you're wasting your time.
Oh, sure. But the least you could do is satisfy my curiosity. Matthews was the only one left in your confidence, wasn't he?
I don't recall ever having met the gentleman.
Well, you've gotten away with it, haven't you? I know you're Hadley, but I couldn't prove it in 1,000 years.
Oh, come. You're being too conservative.
I can't even fall back on fingerprints. Hadley's never were on record.
Weren't they? I guess now we're about to have our after-dinner brandy in here. Do you mind if I ring?
No, not at all.
Thank you.
That face job must have cost you plenty. Fox Barton's work, I imagine. Yes, of course. He was about the best in his line. Somebody gave him a cement cure a couple of years ago. Don't you ever run out of cement, Jim?
Since you insist upon using given names, do you mind calling me Francis? Or even Frank, if you prefer. Oh, you know Miss Cornell, of course.
Good evening.
Why, Mr. Forbes, I didn't expect to see you here.
Oh, I should have told you he was going to drop in on a little matter of business. We had something to clear up. Won't you join us in brandy, Mr. Forbes?
No, thanks, Mr. Covell. I'm afraid I have to be leaving.
Oh, that's too bad. I'm going to drive Miss Cornell back to the club in a few moments. She foolishly insists upon working this evening. Is there any place we could drop you?
Thanks, I won't intrude. I have my car waiting.
Well, I want you to feel perfectly free to drop in at any time. Roy, show the gentleman to the door.
Yes, sir. Good night.
Good night. Good night, Mr. Carvel, and thanks for the lovely dinner.
My dear, the pleasure was all mine. Good night.
Good night.
Well?
I know what you're thinking, but please don't. I accepted Mr. Carvel's invitation because I thought you'd be there.
You were worried about me?
Well, you were so positive he was Hadley, and there was a chance you were right. I only wanted to help you.
Well, in that case, I'll forgive you.
And I'll forgive you if you'll admit how wrong you are about Mr. Carvel.
But I'm not. Beth, you've got to believe me. Carvel is Hadley, and I've got a way to prove it if you will help me.
Johnny, don't you ever give up.
No. And the sooner we get this Hadley thing cleared up, why, the quicker we get to Manhattan. Manhattan? Oh, I got to call my skipper. See you later. Don't give up, operator. Just keep on ringing. He's a heavy sleeper.
Don't forget to ask him for the dough.
Oh.
Hello. Oh, so it's you, huh? Fine time to call in. The paper went to bed hours ago. And so did I.
Well, that's just too bad, isn't it? Listen, Skipper, I want you to do something for me. There's a girl lives in Brooklyn.
That's the last straw. It's all very well for you to tour good old Dixie in a taxi cab, and at my expense, too. But when you wake me up in the middle of the night and ask me to get you a girl...
It's Hadley's girl I want you to get. Gladys Laverne. She lives at 2119 Davenport Avenue, Brooklyn. Sure, I got Hadley staked out down here. But I gotta have somebody identify him. He's had his face remodeled, plastic surgery. And she can identify him if anybody can. She was his sweetheart, remember?
Okay, I'll get her. But suppose she doesn't want to go.
Tell her I found that job I promised her. And I'll meet her at the plane. Okay. Good night. And don't go back to sleep again.
You forgot to ask him for the dough.
So I do.
Ask him now.
Hello? Yeah? What? Oh, just a minute. Emily.
Give me that. Hello, my little honeysuckle. Oh, I miss you so much. This is Popsy talking. I'll be home in a week or two. Well, we have fun down... Hello? Hello? Operator. Operator. I was cut off from Brooklyn. Brooklyn, where the Dodgers play. They got baseball players there now. Brooklyn, New York. Huh? Oh. Emily hung up on me.
Well, that's better than having her hang one on you.
Francis Carvel, a New York hoodlum. Judd Higgins, you must be crazy.
That's what I thought at first, Sheriff. But unless I'm crazy, and this young fella ain't.
Not only a hoodlum, Sheriff, but he's wanted for murder as well. It would be quite a feather in your cap, too, if you could nail a guy the New York police have given up as dead.
I know, but...
we'll make local history, Dad.
You see, you'll be out there with us watching. And we'll spring this Laverne girl on him unexpectedly. And the moment she sees him, she'll recognize him.
And then he'll give himself away. And you'll grab him.
Well, sounds all right, but...
I tell you, Sheriff, we can't miss. Here she comes, Beth. Remember, Carvel has to be there tonight. Hello, Gladys.
Hello, Mr. Ford. Gee, I couldn't believe it when that man told me you had a job for me.
I promised you, didn't I? Oh, this is Beth Cornell, Gladys Laverne.
How do you do? How do you do, Beth?
You're going to take over her job for a couple of weeks.
Sounds good to me.
She just had a heart attack. Settled in her throat.
Oh, what a shame. Even if it is a break for me.
Oh, it's nothing serious. Johnny recommended you, and I was only too glad to fix it up with the colonel.
Well, I certainly appreciate it.
Well, you better run along now. Beth will show you the ropes. See you tonight. Evening, Mr. Carvel.
Evening, Forbes. Somebody leave the window open?
I came by boat.
Gonna try your luck at this, too?
Never gamble. But I would take that drink you offered me the other night.
It's a pleasure. Count 'em, Jim. Good evening, Sheriff. I'm mistaken.
Good evening.
Would you play Miss Laverne's music now, please?
Surely, Beth. Is your throat better?
Yes, much better, thank you.
Yeah, Mr. Forbes.
Brandy, wasn't it?
2 brandies, Tom.
I lived at a slow pace, but a slow pace got me no place. So I'm gathering speed, 'cause that's what I need. I've changed to a fast clip, and I'm all set for a fast trip, 'cause I'm out to make time. I'm starting to climb. I'm hitting the hot spot. I'm ready to do the time. Don't worry to weigh me down. I'm getting that swing. I'm hitting the hot spot. Don't want any good advice. I'm willing to pay the price. I'm having my fling. I'm through behaving like a mourner. I've learned a few things. I'm through with sitting in a corner.
How do you like the new Nightingale?
Not a very good substitute for Miss Cornell. Friend of yours?
In the danger line. So hang out the danger sign. Look out below, 'cause I'm trying some high flying, and I'm dying to go.
Miss Laverne,
Yes?
Now watch this.
I want you to meet an old friend of mine, Mr. Francis Carvel.
Any friend of Johnny's is a friend of mine, Mr. Carvel.
Thank you. It's a pleasure, I assure you.
Thank you, Beth. Place your bet.
So we can't miss, eh? Come on, Higgins.
Now, look, I'm not licked yet. I'll tell the girl the man's Hadley, and then she'll...
I don't care what you do, Mr. Forbes, but I'm going home and get some sleep.
Me too. And I was going to get out an extra.
What did I do?
Well, as a singer, you did okay, Gladys.
You don't sound too pleased about it.
I'm going to be frank with you. My bringing you down here wasn't entirely to help you.
I was afraid there'd be a catch to it. Well, what is it?
Suppose I told you it wasn't Jim Hadley they buried 2 years ago.
I'd say you were crazy.
You'd be wrong, Gladys. Hadley's alive.
I don't believe it. Jim's dead.
I ran across a picture of yours with an inscription across the front of it.
So what? I used to give them out to the dozen when I was at the Lawn Club.
But how many of them did you inscribe like this? To Jim, because he's my man, with all my love. Strike a familiar chord? Who did you give that picture to?
Jim Hadley. Where is he?
You just met him. He calls himself Francis Carvel.
Carvel? He isn't Jim. He couldn't be.
But he is.
His voice is different. His face.
Plastic surgery. Gladys, I want you to take another look at him. A good look. Look into his eyes.
All right, Johnny. And if it is Jim...
Hit me. Hello there.
Having any luck?
Plenty. Most of it bad. Want to play my hand?
No, thanks. I never was much of a gambler. Look, Johnny, you must be wrong. This Carvel, he's a gentleman.
But don't you understand? It wasn't just his face he changed, but his whole personality.
Look, you know I'd turn him in if I was sure. But I'm not.
Then how did he happen to have that autographed picture of yours?
I don't understand that.
But I saw him burn it. Why?
Oh, I don't know.
Well, if you don't, Gladys, nobody will. Guess I'm just sunk.
Look, Johnny, I've just thought of something. Duke.
Yeah, that's Hadley's dog.
If this man is Jim, Duke will recognize him. There's no doubt about that.
Hello? Yep. Yeah? Well, put him on. Hello, Johnny. Did you nail him? What? Oh, well, that settles it. You might as well come home. You know, for a minute, I thought you said you wanted me to send you a dog. You did?
I did. Hadley's Great Dane. No, not Dame. Dane. You know, a dog.
Okay, I'll get him. Sure, anything goes. I'll charter a plane, bring him down myself. Sergeant Dexter. Okay, I'll bring him, too.
I don't want to bore you, pal, but when? When?
Tonight, hot or cold. You can tell Emily I said so.
Mr. Carvel just came in.
Well, Gladys?
I'm ready.
This had better be good, Johnny.
for it, you're going to get it.
I told you he was dead.
You bet I do, honey. From now on, I'm a changed man. No more of these cross-country trips for me.
What's the matter?
Where have I seen that face before? Honey, did you ever see a face that bothers you? I got it. Hey, Milt! Hey, Milt, you still got that gasoline? Hey, Milt, what's the matter? Milt! Hey, Milt! Milt!
Emily, honey, it was my fault. Where are we going?
Florida.
Oh.